everyone was just sweating their foreheads out, and you definitely see that coming in towards these sort of bans here, it's sensible to not have the Lapu Lapu. In the case that you hit in towards the late game as well, it's definitely going to be a little bit harder to deal with.
Looking at it, Omega Esports just want to make the most out of this make the most out of probably a Benedetta by banning out the Lapu Lapu. What do you think, Gideon?
I suppose they're just posing the question to RRQ to say, hey, Jawhead or Lapu Lapu, which one, sorry, not Lapu Lapu, but or Benedetta, which one do you really want to get rid of? And if you do, by the way, there is also Esmeralda on the table, so RQ Hoshi bans out the one and says, hey, let's open up the entire draft. Pick one.
No, that's it. I think Esmeralda should be key here for Omega Esports, if not the Jawhead, which, I don't know, I have to be honest, in game number 1, Heath's Jawhead, again, was found in spots he should not have any business.
I kind of find it weird that they start off with an Esmeralda without Toshi.
What?
Toshi is the one who's actually playing this hero for Omega for the longest time.
I trust Kenji and Cortese. I think it's fine.
But stats don't lie, though.
Stats don't.
Hey,
Stats don't.
hey, if stats don't lie, talk to me about Bren versus Burmese Ghouls.
Hey man, a lot has changed over that one patch, so honestly, I do think that experience does play a part here. But you know what? RRQ Hoshi probably in these situations, they're probably gonna go for, oh, okay, you know what? I was about to say Jawhead, throw that out of the picture. I was absolutely wrong.
Wow, absolute change of pace here, coming in with a Khalid as well as Sylvana, and we talked a lot about Imperial Justice being a very sort of a big key pick, and man, this is definitely going to be really interesting to just lock people down.
I think for the side of RQ Hoshi, they probably are guessing that Omega Esports would go for a Benedetta or a Cho.
I suppose, but I don't know. The Khalid pick is already throwing me off because why exactly do you need the Khalid this early on? Are you trying to harass the Esmeralda early on? Is that what you're hoping for? Because Esmeralda can easily be thrown in towards the mid lane. You have a wave clearing support and it's like, oh yeah, she's not off lane anymore.
Then again, we are going to get their 2 picks right now. It's going to be the Benedetta. They step into the trap, or is it a trap? The Jawhead is there as well for Omega Esports.
So
Wow.
so good. This is looking like Omega's just playing their game, and I understand why the Khalid might throw off a few signals from RRQ, but I think it's also just a safe pick as a side laner anyways. But again, also questionable because why did they not just go for the Benedetta first or the Yuzhong? Like why the Khalid? I guess there's a bigger plan. RRQ Hoshi works in mysterious ways, man.
Exactly, and I think there's something ticking in James's head, and I'm trying to figure it out here. This feels like, you know, the Da Vinci Code, and I'm just working backwards to put together the pieces as we're about to finish this last pick. And at this point, it could be anything here.
Yeah.
I kind of get RQ Hoshi wants to break the status quo a bit here, and they really just keep on throwing us off with these kinds of picks. Bruno is their 3rd pick.
So this is definitely a secret sauce that they are unveiling here. So you got something to say before, of course, I continue my point.
Well, honestly, I think the only reason why they chose Bruno is because Carry is too slow and Claude is counterintuitive. That's basically all I've got so far.
Yeah, and we've already known for a fact that nobody's going to touch a Yi Xunshin 1-1 with really being banned now. Now, giving a lot of power picks, though, over on towards Omega Esports, like, I'm pretty sure they are ecstatic just to get in towards the program, and we're already seeing a Selena being taken out of the picture here, which Omega Esports was initially going for it.
Now, we are going to head to the final ban here of RQ Hoshi. RQ did their research. They banned out the Ling. They do not want it to go to the hands of Hajizi.
And I wouldn't be too surprised if they decided to ban out Hayabusa here on the side of RQ Hoshi if they want to make, or Claude if they want to make sure that's like, hey, absolutely zero scaling, and they're gonna have to just depend on the Benedetta, who doesn't exactly hyperscale, and Esmeralda, who does, is just really nasty.
Banning out the Lu Yi. There are a lot of open heroes here for the side of Omega Esports, though, in terms of the mid lane. You have the Lance. you really have a lot of options. Hell, even Benedetta could go to the mid lane if Omega wanted it to be a mid laner or a jungler.
That's a good point.
Yeah, exactly like what Psycho did in the past game could potentially be a formula that they could take good use of from that page.
Now, we're just waiting for the last possible... Well, this is the last ban for the side of Omega Esports. They're taking their time, trying to not rush things. Probably a Forza would be a nice ban here for their side, and they go for a Diggy.
Okay.
I get the Diggy though. I get the Diggy. This is shades of what Burmese Goose did earlier with their own Diggy.
Rafaela, it's a way to stop out. It's a way to help Bruno maneuver through the fight.
Yeah.
And in terms of Diggy, you're just going to negate a lot of these Jawhead, Esmeralda disables, and probably Omega Esports, they're thinking about getting some team fight ultimates going on for their side.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, because you don't just necessarily ban out the Diggy just for a Sylvana. It just doesn't add up necessarily. But RQ Hoshi taking up the Rafaela, something very, very interesting. They want to be able to outmaneuver this Esmeralda overall. But again, big ultimates here. What could it be?
Last two picks for this draft of game number 2. It's going to be the Farsa and the Harley.
Okay.
Okay, so this kind of telegraphs that it is Farsa in mid, Harley in the jungle, and I think they're a little conservative when it comes to the magic damage. I must say, Esmeralda's a hybrid.
Yeah, I mean, true, but for the large majority, she works weird. She works weird in the sense where it's like, I kind of do damage, but I give you shield, turn your life into shields and then steal it away, you know? It's rather interesting, but majority of her damage does come from magic. And RQ Hoshi, they're going to finish it off with the Belleric.
Oh.
This is such an interesting composition coming in from RQ, and it's definitely something to just kind of watch back later on to understand what is going on.
Wow, the layered defense coming in from the side of RQ Hoshi, though, is definitely going to be something interesting to watch, especially you have that sustain coming from the Rafaela, going with the holy healings and just keeping them up all night long, alongside with the Khalid, which is already kind of tough to deal against. But looking at the sort of the pace that we're going in towards game number 2, this draft, which is definitely the first out of the many that is being pulled up from the side of RQ Hoshi, is keeping our eyes wide open.
RQ Hoshi, clearly they have a different stand on the meta right now. They are playing, they are throwing us off, and right now we're trying to decode whatever it is that they're trying to do in this meta. And Omega Esports, they really have to face this. I hope they figure out something in this game, because if not, they're going to go to the lower bracket. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 2, we head on to the Celestial Palace, and Gideon, Leo, and Contra take it away.
Thanks, Butters. And this game is, I'm hoping it doesn't reach all the way to that 30, but RQ Hoshi wants to start off strong. And when you got a Bruno and when you have a Rafaela, you just can't help but to look to push them out of their own jungle.
All right, this is Psycho once more in the roaming role on that Rafaela. And we're trying to decipher slowly what's going on with this lineup. Curtizi juggling these waves, juggling the aggression, and there seems to be a scuffle here in the river for the Litho Wanderer. Not exactly sure who got it, but oh, Heath was just chilling.
Oh man, and yep, they just ran past him, forced to flicker away this time around. So not all too shabby after all for an attempt from RQ. So
honestly, I think Heath was just clenching his butt cheeks, just like, don't notice me, as he slowly walked on out and waddled through river.
yeah, like this kind of things don't just go by unnoticed. Most often than not in competitive play. Over on towards the lower side, we do have Kenji versus R7. Oh, first blood.
No, but he's going to get returned. Wait, don't tell me he got... Okay, I thought he was executed for a moment there. I was like, no way, the passive would have procced at some point.
Would have been amazing. I think that's what he was just hedging on. And right now, look at this. Kenji baiting out R7. Does he know that Hajizi's waiting here? Oh, there you go. Poker trick, clearing the waves, and R7's not having any of it. They go for the crab.
I think overall this game is just going to be like a nice and slow pace here unless RRQ wants to ramp it up by adding gasoline to the little fire that they've started so far, especially since both sides haven't really gotten too far ahead, and I think even Khalid is just chilling in his lane thinking, I don't really need to do anything and hold and protect myself.
Yeah, and speaking of which, I'm definitely keeping my eyes on Hajizi as well, as he'll be setting to go in for those picks up in towards the mid game itself. I'm not sure what kind of position can he possibly pull up this time, but they're pulling out the turtle.
All right, here we go. Starting it up. That's 4 members of RRQ Hoshi. Omega Esports going to answer back. Turtle at less than half health. Feathered air strike pulled in here by Yeliaze. Vin going to be the first target. They're not having any of it. Heath does not have unstoppable force, but he has ejector. Vin gets bursted down, taken out by Hajizi. That's going to be a trade, though. Hajizi destroyed by Albert from the back lines. It's free hits from the Bruno. That's going to be 2 for 9 plus a turtle. 2 for 1 make that. Oh, RRQ Hoshi off to the races.
This is a really good start here because, I mean, even though Omega Esports looked like they had the better engage, the counter engage coming in from RRQ Hoshi was kind of nuts, and they were able to hit a large majority, forcing out some big battle spells, and especially the Purifies and Flickers from everybody else.
Yeah, and with a lot of all the survey stuff being burnt out as well, we are already getting a couple of items in. Of course, still pretty much early in the phase. Spot anything interesting, gentlemen?
Not just yet. I think it's still relatively similar, but it's going to be a huge fight here as the Feathered Airstrike comes through, but Lemon is in the backside wanting to stop this move from Farsa.
Oh.
She can't even hit wings by wings. Hajizi is the next to fall. They're diving. Oh my goodness. A triple kill going over to your boy, Albert.
4 for 1, I'll take that any day, plus a good amount of hits on this outer turret energy shield. Nay, make it the whole turret taken down not even 4 minutes in. RRQ Hoshi seems to have drafted the draft they wanted anyways, and if this isn't a hyper push, hyper carry lineup, I don't know what is. Look at this. They're ahead by about 2,500 gold already.
Yeah, and raising the baby strat definitely working very well in favor of the side of RRQ, already feeding 5 kills to Albert, who's pretty much all grown up right now. And my concern is this, they're going to be going for another pick.
Oh, nice ejector, trying to save Heath, but it is all in vain as Lemon gets away. That's going to be deadly magic set in by Kaltizi, but we all know Lemon's going to survive.
This is, oh boy, this is some big moves made by RQ Hoshi. They're just they're pretty far ahead and this early into the game. Wait, no, this could be something a little bit more here because RRQ, the fact that they are rotating between mid and bottom side, they want to break the mid side so they have more space to work with when they're just kind of putting their pressure on the turtle, and maybe could even force a chase into the enemy jungle.
Yep, and just go for the mad snowball here, and exactly that's what they're doing. Again, they opened up the main artery in mid. They have easy goes at most things, especially turtles, and that's just gonna make Albert a beast. Easy. Now another big fight. That's gonna be Wrath of the Dryad, setting them all in. Lemon destroyed by Hajizi. Oh, I think they started the fight a little too soon.
Yeah, and he definitely was in the wrong place, wrong time as well. Now, Electo, final blow on towards R7. Honestly, not going to do much to that Khalid.
Yeah, especially with the Quicksand Guard, actually. He is just going to heal back up to pretty much full and just continue to just soak up as much pressure as possible. And Kartizi, no matter how much damage he gets on him, boom, he gets hit by the ult. And Kartizi, R7 could look to finish him off, but Hajizi is there to protect him. Oh, he manages to get him. He forgot about the passive. R7 still alive. He's getting hit by literally everything and walks away like nothing ever happened.
Amazing. He comboed the passive and the execute. I think that was the nail in the coffin that caught Kurtizi off. Usually you don't get Kurtizi with that, but something's telling me maybe Omega's kind of tilted. Maybe it's getting to Omega. The long game, the 34-minute game earlier, and just this hyper-aggressive draft.
Definitely getting in their heads. Just look at the way that he plays the Khalid, just flickers right in, and yeah, there it goes. Doing everything that RQ needs to do just to get straight, direct, and towards the heart, not only the head.
It's getting scary here because if this is the tactics that RRQ are going to employ just to tilt their opponents, dragging out the 30-minute games, oh no.
Oh, nice use of the Rampaging Sandstorm, forcing Heath to go for the flicker back. Hey, if you're using your opponent's tanks, again, a playmaking tanks, skills and battle spells to just push them back and just go for failed attempt, it's gonna be a non-starter. And if you do this for the next 3 minutes, you're gonna see Vin here, Albert, build up to more than just a Berserker's Fury. I'm seeing maybe a battle, an endless battle in 2 minutes.
I suppose, but I think like they've got the Berserker's Fury. Endless Battle is probably going to be coming up real soon as well, like you said. But is that going to be enough? Like, what happens once Omega has kind of scaled up and oh, this is a pick?
Oh, that's Vin. Oh, he's able to get out despite all the deadly magics. Nice pin down, Imperial Justice onto Heath, and yeah, you're underneath the turret. You turn it into a chase like this. It's gonna be fine. Emoji Esports knows to retreat.
Oh boy, yikes. Just look at how fast he just melted down right there as he tries to go in for the pickoff. But even if they managed to get that catch, the rest of Omega Esports evidently wasn't ready to respond to that pick itself. So not sure if it's miscomm or, you know, something that he hopes to just burst it down in the flick of an eye.
Oh boy, Albert is so huge. He's literally critting for 1.8k. 1.8k. Let that sink in for a bit because it's only 7 minutes into this game, going to 8.
1.8k, that's about half of most heroes' life bars at this point. And yeah, no quarter here for this tier 2 turret up top. Rapid Sandstorm starting it up. That's going to be the Feathered Airstrike pushing them back. But no, they already set their sights on Heath and take down the Jawhead, as well as this mid lane turret. Inhibitors left standing, save for bottom. This is aggression like we've never seen before, at least in the playoffs, especially with a draft as unorthodox as this.
I mean, Albert is enabled and they want more. Look at that damage. Cortese barely stood a chance. Lemon went over the wall just to try and get him with the Dryas, but luckily Cortese survives with just a sliver of health.
Yeah, Cortese almost dropped right there, and now I'm just being less speechless on how effective this composition have worked out in favor of RRQ, Hoshi, and Omega Esports now could not really leave the base at the moment. Yep, they got the breastplate up for Kenji, now playing very defensively.
Yo, the breastplate on Kenji feels reactionary. It just feels like, oh, I need to build it because we're dying too soon. It honestly feels miserable right now. Looking at the record here, 4-11, about 7k ahead is RRQ Hoshi. This First Lord here, if they don't do anything that just changes the way that they engage, which I'm struggling to find right now, I do think that it's a free Lord already. This one, 3 seconds away, and there you go, Albert already has the endless battle. I think that's Blade of Despair coming up next. Oh, they catch a GZ off. Albert uses not even the Wave of the World just yet. That's a double for the Bruno, and they are going for the throat. They are going for this mid lane inhibitor. Feathered Airstrike being called off by Yelly Hayes. He's saying they're at our gates. They're at our gates. Mayday.
Mayday, Mayday, they're already calling the red alert right now as Omega Esports forcing their way out of this one, and RRQ, they're looking to close the game.
Oh no, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. 10 minutes in, 4 seconds. RRQ Hoshi shock the world. 2 Filipino teams back-to-back knocked down into the lower bracket.
Oh my goodness, that has to be one of the fastest games we have seen thus